Welcome to Marketing Cupcakes, a quantitative marketing podcast where we bring you the latest techniques in marketing analytics, data science, systems integrations, growth hacking, guerrilla marketing, and data architecting.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Marketing Cupcakes. I'm your host, Dave Gilbert, and today we are happy to have Jordan Bottley from LeadAnywhere on the line. Jordan, welcome to the show, and why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your background?
Great, thanks Dave, thanks James. Appreciate the opportunity to chat today. So myself, I am the Director of Sales and Marketing here at LeadAnywhere, have been for the last 3 years now. As far as my background goes, it's really been based in the IT space, so sales and channel sales, partner recruitment is really my background. And then recently, within the last 3 years, I've been more heavily involved in the marketing side, so really helping our clients define, architect their marketing campaigns, define their marketing strategies, align with our buyers, and execute marketing campaigns to drive results. That's what I've been doing here at LeadAnywhere for the last 3 years, and it's been a great ride, and it's been great to get to know you, Dave, and you, James, both. I think what you're doing with Marketing Cupcakes is really right in line with our core methodologies as a business, which is do things different and unique in order to get buyers to pay attention.
Cool. Great. Well, thanks, Jordan. I know we talked about a little bit, kind of the topic for the day is how to fix lead quality, through marketing and sales handoff. And so one of the questions we had for you are, what are some of, you guys work with a whole myriad of clients and a whole bunch of different types of companies. And what are some common mistakes companies make when managing their marketing pipeline? And what are some of those gaps that exist during the handoff to sales, from marketing to sales?
Yeah, that's a great question. We work with a lot of different types of clients, both industries, size. We'll work with later stage startups all the way to global Fortune 100 companies. And it's really crazy because you'd think the larger Fortune 100 companies are more sophisticated in their sales and marketing alignment, but a lot of cases that's not the case. We actually see, for the most part, a lot of these smaller companies, the smaller organizations that are actually better aligned from a sales and marketing perspective. And my guess is because as you grow and get larger, it becomes harder to maintain that integration and that relationship. But I think some of the gaps that traditionally exist across all of them that I've seen is really, the problems from marketing pipeline perspective and sales handoff that I see from a gaps perspective is, one, a marketer is going to be inclined to just drive quantity. And everything we hear from our clients is we want more quantity, but we want it to be qualified. So I guess the comment there is, don't skip quality for quantity. You're really going to hurt your sales alignment if you start to push quantity down the pipeline. Sales isn't going to appreciate it if they're not confident in the quality. Marketing will start to lose credibility. And then when you do have legitimately good qualified leads that you're sending, you're going to have a problem where sales really starts to ignore everything that you turn over to them or flip over the fence, so to speak. So don't skip quality for quantity would be the first. Second, that we see a lot with quite a few of our clients is the tendency to make decisions based on bad data is really a pitfall of marketing. In fact, I wouldn't say that LeadAnywhere has coined the term, but we call it marketing musical chairs. I think it's in our marketing, it's in the nature of a marketer to jump to conclusions. We roll out a campaign, and all of a sudden our bounce rates are through the roof, and we have a tendency to want to hurry and change things. And the advice that we'll typically give clients is, if you get into this marketing musical chairs trap, it becomes very expensive from a cost perspective and from a resource perspective. So I would suggest having a defined implementation and testing strategy, and really be disciplined enough to follow that. Allow enough time to collect some statistically relevant data, because our human nature is going to tell us to hurry and make changes, and that's not necessarily the best approach. And then probably the last one in regards to marketing pipeline would be redefining nurturing, so to speak. Marketing automation has really come in and coined the term nurturing. And I think the marketing industry needs to redefine that term. Nurturing is not just marketing automation. Marketing automation is great, but it's not the silver bullet either. We'll get more into this as I talk a little bit more about LeadAnywhere and our methodologies, but there needs to be a human element integrated in the nurturing process. Otherwise, you're going to attempt to send out relevant emails, but, it's impossible to be relevant for everybody, so you're going to end up sending out irrelevant emails that become spam. You're going to have people unsubscribing, and then you've lost the opportunity to persuade your people into the future. So I guess redefining what nurturing means and making that more than just marketing automation is really important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jordan. I know James and I have talked extensively about this, but just this whole concept, I think, was born from the marketing community, with marketing automation really coming into full adoption by the community. I think they kind of lost that, not just the human touch, but realizing that there's more ways that people communicate other than just through email. And I think LeadAnywhere is a unique company that's really, what you guys are doing is really what nurturing is all about. So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Jordan. You and I have had many conversations about that very subject. You got to have a really good combination between marketing automation and having the human element. Especially nowadays, customers are way more picky than they ever have been. And rightfully so, because they can get information at the tip of their fingertips. So you bring up a really good point in having that human element, which is sometimes a gap that exists with a lot of different companies. So Jordan, talk to us a little bit about what companies do to overcome some of those gaps if they're facing one of those challenges.
Yeah, great question. So specific to the marketing gap, the marketing industry is being overrun with technology right now. It's crazy the amount of technology vendors, technology partners that are entering the market, and it's all and quite frankly, where it's going, it's all automation based, right? We've got chatbots now, we've got artificial intelligence being integrated into CRMs, into marketing automation systems, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing. All these innovations are important to make us more efficient marketers, but you cannot be reliant on all these technologies to do the job of a real person, because you're just getting further and further away from being relevant to your customers, which is how we should really focus our marketing campaigns and our marketing efforts. So making sure you have a plan on how to integrate the human element into your marketing stack of technology is going to be one of the most critical pieces of your marketing strategy into the future. Otherwise, you just get so disconnected from the voice of your customer. You're going to be rolling out campaigns and products and services that may not be relevant to your market, which isn't a direction you want to go as a business. Now, specific to the gaps between marketing and sales, you can't have, as a marketing organization, you cannot have a set it and forget it mentality. You just can't throw these leads over the fence and expect for sales to take action. So I guess the biggest gap that I see with a lot of our clients is there needs to be an SLA agreement in place between sales and marketing. And there's nothing special about the SLA either. I guess I'd take that back and say there needs to be a relationship between the marketing and sales organization. And the SLA agreement is kind of the binder, right, that helps drive that. And so, the core is in an SLA agreement. Ideally, you'd want to tie compensation or incentives to following that SLA agreement. From my perspective, a good SLA should include things like a shared goal between sales and marketing, defining sales and marketing terms, right? You need to define what is a lead, what's an MQL, what's an SQL, what are the different stages during an opportunity, and what are those definitions. It also needs to include a definition of what marketing is going to do to qualify the lead, right? That's used to give sales confidence in what they're going to be receiving. And a good SLA is going to have a defined lead handoff process. What's the trigger to hand off a lead? What's the process to hand that off? You need to have an outlined rejection plan, right? If sales wants to turn back a lead or reject a lead, what's the process when a lead is rejected? And then probably the last two most important things are defining a nurturing plan in the SLA, and that's used to give sales some context into what's happening with the lead. Defining KPIs used to manage and forecast goal achievement, right, like conversion rates, number of leads. And then lastly, you just need to you need to maintain that SLA. So the business is going to evolve and change over time. And again, you can't have a set it and forget it mentality where that SLA is it becomes old and antiquated. It needs to be updated as the business evolves.
Great points, Jordan. I actually completely agree with you on all of those because we have gone through many of those times, even in previous positions that I've had where I've actually worked with you guys at LeadAnywhere. It's been a challenge that we've had together in trying to figure that out. So appreciate the insights there. This is our last question for you. So obviously building processes around these things can be quite difficult. For small and large organizations, but it doesn't matter. The processes to build them can be difficult. But more importantly, the ability to bring that customer voice into the process and making sure that is what is driving the process is a big challenge for a lot of companies. So talk to us a little bit about how some of your clients have overcome that and maybe some recommendations that you guys have given them to be successful in it.
Yeah. Yeah, great. So I guess first and foremost, and this may sound a little counterintuitive or anti-marketing culture, but we've got to stop trying to sell our products to people. And I know that sounds really weird, but we need to stop trying to sell our products, and we need to work to accommodate buying instead. I call this persuasive momentum, right? We're not going to sell anything to anyone who's not in the market for our solution. So why try and sell to them, right? There's branding, right? We can brand, but we're going to be much more successful as marketers if we better work to accommodate the buying of our products. So remove the roadblocks in the buying process is the key. As far as involving the human element, right? Your customers need to have a voice in the decision-making process of, developing products, developing services, developing processes. So the question is, how is that done, right? How does the customer have a voice? Well, it was interesting. You need to I just recently read an article on LinkedIn where someone had just bought a Tesla car and was at a charging station in San Francisco and was frustrated because there was like 6 Teslas in front of him waiting to be charged. And the guy at the station, his car was charged, but the guy wasn't in the car. He went to the gym or something, right? So he went to Twitter and posted on Elon Musk's account and said, "This is a problem." He got a response from Elon Musk within 6 hours. This is the founder and CEO of Tesla, right? Within 6 hours, it said, "This is a problem. We're gonna fix it." Well, the next day, Tesla came out with a new policy that said, "Hey, you're going to start incur idling fees at the charging stations. You'll get a notification when the car's charged, and you have 5 minutes to unplug it and get out. Otherwise, you're going to start incurring idling fees." That's a prime example of where a business listens to the voice of the customer and develops processes and products to accommodate the customer's needs. So you need to leverage communication channels to hear what your customers are saying. That can be social media, that can be reviews on product websites, or that could be your salespeople gathering feedback, right, about what the customer's needs are, and you need to use that in your development of your processes. Otherwise, you're developing a service or a process for a market you're unfamiliar with, which is never a good idea from a marketing or even a business development perspective.
That is a great story. I actually didn't get to read that, but I have heard of very similar things happening at a lot of different companies. Always making sure to wait for the customers. So that's great stuff. Jordan, do you want to talk a little bit about what LeadAnywhere does and talk through some of how you guys work with your clients, and then we can talk, and hopefully everyone enjoys this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So LeadAnywhere, we're a fairly young organization, so we really incorporated in 2008, but there was a lot of product development, and I'd say we've really only been in the market since 2012, but our value proposition is really 4 key pillars, is what I'd say. So our technology, first and foremost, I guess the key value proposition we have is we drive more sales pipeline for our clients. And that's done a number of ways. It's traditionally done in a digital environment, right, where we're engaging live with buyers online through communication channels like chat, phone, and email, SMS on mobile devices. But from those conversations that we're having with customers, we still have a marketing analytics or technology that will give marketing insights back to marketers on how campaigns are performing, what buyers are saying about their campaigns, and helping our clients understand if the messaging that they're using for their campaigns aligns with the buyer's motivation. We also work to provide better buying experiences. We have the ability to do dynamic content based on geography or based on motivations. So when a buyer hits the website, we can dynamically change content to be more relevant to why they're there. And again, we don't just create the lead and hand it off to our client. And again, you've heard me say set it and forget it a couple times, but we don't do that here either. So we also contract with our clients to follow that lead through the entire sales process and be that voice of the customer, represent the customer's experience all the way through the buying process to make sure our clients know when a deal will potentially be lost, or how to optimize the buying experience for their customers, or even give them insights into the customer experience for process development or business development opportunities. But the whole goal is make sure that the buyers are accommodated when they get to the website, and make sure they have a really good experience all the way through the sales funnel, so we can make sure that the leads we're producing for our clients actually close.
And Jordan, if people wanted to find you, where would they find you at?
Yeah, LeadAnywhere.com is our website, so your listeners can just go to the website.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. Thanks for being on the podcast today, and thank you so much for the great insight. And thanks for listening to Marketing Cupcakes. If you guys that are listening, if you'll rate the podcast and please subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on Marketing Cupcakes.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Marketing Cupcakes, an Endure podcast. For more great content and to stay up to date on the latest marketing techniques, visit endure.com. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and rate the podcast. We'll catch you next time on Marketing Cupcakes.